Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro City government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and with me today, as always, right here next to me, right next to the board, doing great. Good to see you. I'm struggling.
What's my latitude and longitude?
Hang on, where's my phone? Rosemary Plyman.
So glad to be here. So excited about summer. How about you?
Absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it makes me think of one of the most joyous feelings that I think that you get in life is that when when you're a kid and you leave school that last day. Do you remember that feeling?
I remember that.
And you
so
run
many
out,
times.
and you see the kids like running out and you join their face. They just like throwing their papers and
yes.
you know, forget the backpack. I don't need it. And it's just, you know, arms out. It's a feeling that's really not replicated as an adult. I don't think that feeling. But you know, there's a lot of cheers and they are excited. The kids are. Of course, but some of their parents are actually pretty worried because they're worried about how they're going to feed their children over the summer months without those school lunches that provide valuable meals and then an avenue to actually reach children to make sure they're getting food, not only for those middle of the day meals, but weekends and things like that too. So actually, June is, in fact, Hunger Awareness Month, and Leslie Isakoff is president of A Simple Gesture. We're so glad to have you with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
So one of my favorite memories growing up is I went to a Catholic school, and the nuns would sing "Oh Happy Day" on the last day of school.
Oh, I love that.
It was so
That's
fun.
cool.
We may have to find some music to add to this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good memory.
Yeah.
So how big of a problem is hunger in our community, and how does school being out exacerbate that problem?
Yeah, so hunger is a huge issue in Greensboro. In 2015, Greensboro was named the hungriest metropolitan area in the country. And still today, we have the most food deserts than anywhere in the country. So hunger happens because of two reasons, because food isn't affordable and food isn't accessible. Mm-hmm. And this summer is particularly bad because food prices have risen so much, 10% in the last 12 months. We're expecting another 6 to 8% rise in that. So food is very unaffordable for a lot of families that are even new to experiencing hunger. And then in the summertime, so many families rely on school feeding programs. In the last 2 years, both breakfast and lunch have been free to all students. And then it's really easy for food banks to be able to deliver food for kids to have on the weekend. So in the summertime, what we really try to focus on is making sure that food is accessible at a lot of the parks and rec centers, summer camps, things like that. So for families that are looking for food, they can always look on Backpack Beginnings website or Parks and Rec, and we can make sure that kids are getting all the food that they need.
Yeah. So tell us about A Simple Gesture. What is that? How does it work?
Yeah, so A Simple Gesture was kind of born out of 2015 when we were named the hungriest city. And we realized that there's lots of food pantries and food banks in Greensboro, actually about 100 of them. So we didn't need another food bank. But all of the food banks were underwater. They just couldn't get enough food to feed the families. So we wanted to make sure that we were educating the community that this was a major issue and making it as easy as possible for the community to give back. So what we did is we just got these green reusable grocery bags and put a list on them of what's needed at the local food banks and asked that when people go grocery shopping, they just pick up a few extra items. And on the second Saturday of the month, leave it on their front porch. And we go around and pick up the food and take it to local food banks. So it's really everybody just doing a little bit of something, and it makes a huge difference. We collect from about 5,000 homes right now.
Wow.
Yeah. I never dreamed that would be the case. Because of that, we've been able to do things like summer feeding programs and making sure that every school has backpack programs or a food pantry. And now we're making sure that pediatricians' offices and OBGYN offices also have food pantries.
Yeah, that's a real easy way. You know, you're going to go grocery shopping anyway, have the bag, put some stuff in there, and then you guys pick it up. So
yeah, and you can
idea.
really do it for free almost if you get the buy one, get one free. Or,
right, exactly.
So you just get one for your family and one to give away, and it works out really well.
You don't notice it. Yeah. And are you always looking for drivers? I know you're always looking for people to fill the bags, but also people to pick them up?
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to keep drivers in their neighborhoods. We feel very deeply about building community. So people usually get assigned about 15 to 25 of their own neighbors that they go and pick up, and they're assigned to a pantry to drop off at.
Okay.
So most of our drivers who start never stop.
Yeah.
But we also, they're not committed to anything. So it's like a once every month we just reach out to see if they're available. If they're not, that's fine. But if they are, they start on Saturday morning at 9 and they're done by 11 or 12. So it's just really simple for them too.
That's a lot of fun too.
What are other ways people can help?
Giving food, driving, giving money is really helpful. One thing that we found, especially during COVID, is that the pantries tend to get low on things like formula and baby food and things like
right
that.
now especially, yeah.
Yeah, so we're able to use kind of a slush fund to go out and buy directly from the producer some of those things. So that's been really helpful, especially for the hospital the last couple of weeks to get baby formula.
Yeah.
If there are neighbors listening, and you mentioned this a little bit, and who need help, or maybe you are listening and you know somebody who needs help, what's the easiest way to connect people to get the food they need?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing I would do, if they have children, let the school social worker know or your pediatrician, because they can get you help immediately.
Right.
The second thing I would do is call 211. It's a hotline that's run by the United Way, and they can connect you to the food resources that are closest to your house. Because we find that transportation is a major issue.
Yeah.
So they can get you to one that's really close to you.
And again, you mentioned, visiting the city parks and recreation centers over the summer. And then in the past, schools, in the past couple summers, schools have been feeding sites, but this summer maybe not as much.
This summer, so several schools will feed children 4 days a week. And then for weekend food, you'll need to go to one of those community sites.
Great.
It's obvious that volunteers are really important, but can you put into context just how important they are? And, if somebody wants to volunteer, how would they go about doing that?
What kind of difference it makes?
Yeah. So last year we collected almost 700,000 pounds of food, and we have a staff of 4 people.
Oh my gosh!
And really only 2 of those are full time and 2 are very part time. So. Wow. Yeah, so we really rely on volunteers. And it's not just at a simple gesture. I want to emphasize that we really work in collaboration with all of these pantries.
Yeah.
And we all need volunteers to help feed these kids. So, and we cannot do it without the help of volunteers. So to volunteer with a simple gesture, you just need to go to our website, asimplegesture.org. Okay. And you can sign up to give food, to volunteer, or to give a donation.
And how do you get one of the green bags if you're interested? Is that the way to do it too?
Sign up there. And then if you don't like to shop for whatever reason, if you're more of an online shopper, we do have like an Amazon wish list where you can go in and buy whatever, and it'll ship it directly to us, and we take care of it from there. So we really try to make it very easy.
Yes, you do.
All right. And the more volunteers and the more donations, the more that you are going to be singing "Oh Happy Day" in your office.
That's right.
Just like you did on that last day of school. I know. Hey, find out more about A Simple Gesture, volunteer, get involved, make a donation. You can do it all at asimplegesture.org.
Leslie, thanks for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's our time for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13,
AT&T U-verse Channel 99,
and North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
at greensboro-nc.gov.